Hello, Elvis. Hello. Should we do a tag? Should we do a tag? Yes? Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this latest edition of Book Time with Elvis, with me, Mark. And yeah, it's Tag Tuesday, and I've been tagged in a couple of tags over the last few days, which really makes a nice change. But I am a bit behind. There are two I should do because I was tagged in them before this one. However, they require maybe a little bit more thought on my side. So I'll do this one first. And I was very kindly tagged by Misa from Books and Sushi. And she tagged me. It's quite an interesting one, this one. She did the tag Meowing Bout Books tag. And it's based around cats. And this original version was done by the Booktube goddess. However, we were given the choice of doing that for cat lovers or doing one for dog lovers. And obviously, having Elvis as my companion, I've gone for the dog lovers one. And this is Barking Bout Books tag by Eric at Breakeven Books. So, let's see what the prompts are, shall we? Okay, the first one. I've got a bone to pick with you. Name a book that was good until it wasn't, meaning you were enjoying it and then it ended up disappointing you. I had a few. I wrote down three actually: Catcher in the Rye, The Flanders Panel, and Norwegian Wood. I'll go with Norwegian Wood purely because I actually ended up kind of skimming through to the end because I just got very disappointed with it. It started off quite good. I was thinking it wouldn't be that bad. And unfortunately, it did kind of put me off Murakami. I'm sure a lot of you out there be like, oh no, he's great. Certainly, a good friend of mine recommended him, and I feel awful by the fact that I didn't really like him. But I found Norwegian Wood. I mean, I believe it's his first book, so maybe I should give him another chance. But it did put me off. And certainly it was one that I started off enjoying for a while, and then I really didn't. And it's hard for me to say why, really. It just, I don't know, it seemed to drag on, and I found the character rather annoying in the end, I suppose, and just found the whole experience a bit bizarre, really. Okay, next one. Welcome Home. Name a book or series that gives you the warm feelings of home. As someone who spent a lot of his life away from home, i.e. being my home country, one book that I remember stirred kind of strong feelings of home in me was the book, but I haven't read it for almost 20 years actually, the book Notes from a Small Island by Bill Bryson. Excuse me. It chronicles his journey around Britain in, I think it's the early 80s. I hope I'm not confusing it now with Kingdom by the Sea by Paul Theroux, but certainly they're quite different in terms of their tone. But it's a wonderful story, and you can see Bill Bryson has a very enduring and endearing love for Great Britain. And when I read it, I was living in Germany at the time, and I was only 20, and it kind of left feelings of homesickness and nostalgia in me. And it's really the only time I've felt it from reading a book. I remember when I was living in Japan, that if ever I got homesick, I would go to the video shop, and rent episodes of things like Midsummer Murder or Inspector Morse or something like this to kind of give me a feeling of England. So yeah, it's strange, I suppose. Okay, next one. Ruffin It. Name a book that has a journey or travel element to it. Well, loads of them. I mean, I love travel logs, travel books, travel writing, even guidebooks, all those kind of things. But of course, I will only choose one. And actually, it's the only book I've got with me from the list today. The rest you'll have seen already appearing on the screen because I've either got them as ebooks or they're back in the UK. The one I've gone for is quite an interesting little book. It's called A Fortune Teller Told Me. A Fortune Teller Told Me. And it's by Tiziano Terzani, and it was really interesting. I read it a long time ago. I'll have to reread it, but I'll read the back to you, and you can see what you think. Warned by a Hong Kong fortune teller, not to risk flying for a whole year, Tiziano Terzani, a vastly experienced Asia correspondent, took what he called the first step into an unknown world. It turned out to be one of the most extraordinary years I ever spent. I was marked for death, and instead I was reborn. Travelling by foot, boat, bus, car and train, he visited Burma, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, China, Mongolia, Japan, Indonesia, Singapore and Malaysia. Consulting soothsayers and shamans wherever he went, he grew to understand and respect older ways of life and beliefs now threatened by the crasser forms of Western modernity. And yes, I seem to remember really enjoying it, but I think I will read it again, because now I've read the back, I thought, oh yeah, sounds great again, so I'll give it another go probably. But yeah, that's one that I will recommend from travel. Next one, marking your territory. Name a book or series that you will always stand by no matter what. Again, I came up with several, but this time I will go with the series Night Watch by Sergei Lukyanenko. I've mentioned it a couple of times. I lent them to a friend's wife once. She hated them, and I couldn't believe it. She found them boring and strange, whereas I really loved them. So it is funny how, obviously people do have different opinions. I'm not a big one usually for fantasy or that kind of thing, but these books contain vampires, magicians and all sorts, but they live as normal human beings within Moscow and other cities around the world, and it's kind of the idea of the fact that these two factions, kind of light and dark, had been warring for centuries, and they came up with a peace and a truce, and part of this was to keep a balance. So you have light magicians and whatever are watching to make sure that dark magicians and vampires, etc., stay within the terms of the treaty, and vice versa. So yeah, it's a great series. I believe there are 6 books now. I kind of hope there'll be another one. Each one seems to be like it's going to be the last one, but he's still somehow, has put others out there, and they've always been great. Always just, whenever he published a new one, I'd pick it right up and slot back in, and yeah, love it. Great series. Next, Diggin Holes, a book that had some hidden secrets or a big plot twist uncovered. Again, another book I've mentioned because it's one that really stuck with me recently. I read it last year, and that's Belonging by Umi Sinha. It was a very haunting novel. It had great twists. It had nice uncovering of its plot at the end, and it was just very well done. Definitely, it's a fantastic book, and if you haven't checked it out, I suggest you do. Yeah, that's Belonging by Umi Sinha. Very good. Next, Stand By Me. Name a book or series that portrayed a very loyal friendship between its characters. I'll go with a series that I'm on at the moment. I haven't finished it. That's the Aubrey Maturin series, but you can see the camaraderie and strong bond between the two protagonists, Captain Jack Aubrey of the Royal Navy and his friend, surgeon and sometimes secret agent Stephen Maturin. You can definitely see a bond between those two that fits this prompt perfectly. I could do loads of videos on this series, but so I won't say too much more about it. I might save that, but it's fantastic. Next, Tug of War, a book you have very mixed feelings about. Yes, this one I haven't mentioned before, but it's certainly one I have very mixed feelings about, and that's The Wolf and the Watchmen. And the author escapes me. You'll see it in the picture. Something Dag Och Nat, Night and Day is the author's name. Is it Martin? It doesn't matter. You'll see. And this was a very strange book. It's set in 18th century Stockholm, and there's a murder mystery. A corpse washes up, minus its appendages, and basically they. This night watchman and I think he's like a prosecutor or early former policeman team up together to kind of solve this murder, and it's a horrific story. I mean, it's one of the most horrific things I've ever come across actually in a book, so check it out. No, I definitely, if you decide to read it, make sure you find out a little bit about it, because you don't want to get too disturbed. I think it is quite disturbing, but I kind of liked it. You see, that's the thing. I don't know. It was really shocking and horrendous thing that happened in it, but the story itself was good. The mystery was good. So I definitely have mixed feelings about that. And the last one, Treats, a book that you are super excited about and will reward yourself by reading it. Well, I mentioned the series in my last video, and that was the Athenian Mysteries series by Gary Corby, and I'm absolutely looking forward to reading the next book, which is The Singer from Memphis. Unfortunately, I haven't got it here yet, but I hope to have it soon. And when it comes, I will definitely read it. I mentioned already, as I said in a previous video, but it's just a series of mysteries set in ancient Greece, and they are really good, really, really excellent. Okay, so all that's left for me to do is tag. I don't really know who's done them. I do know a few people have cats and dogs, so I'll try and go with them. I will tag Steve Donahue. He's probably done it. He seems to have done everything. I will also tag Sina from Beating Around the Books, because I know she's got a couple of cats. Brian from Bookish has some dogs, so I'll go for him as well. Also, I will go with Summer from Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. And yeah, that's it for now. And of course, anyone else who's got a dog or a cat or any pet and wants to give it a go for it. So thanks again to Misa for tagging me, and I wish you all well. Have a great rest of your day, and see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.